During the Nintendo Direct from a few days ago, Nintendo finally revealed a 20-second teaser trailer for Xenoblade 3's Wave 4 expansion pass, but at this time it's still incredibly difficult to say if it's going to be a prequel or a sequel epilogue to Xenoblade 3. While it was extremely short, this trailer had enough substance to honestly make me tear up a little, so please allow me to make a quick analysis of this DLC trailer. Just sit back and enjoy the ride. The trailer starts with the Nintendo Switch logo clicking in as it always does, but then opens to a quick wide shot of a figure shrouded in light and flames. The light surrounding the figure makes the Fog King from Future Connected come to mind, but more importantly, there are 4 wings coming out from the person. The patterns of those wings look eerily similar to Zanza's wings, and to top it off, the figure is holding the Monado. Now at first, it looks like this might be Zanza all over again, but the clothes, hairstyle, and overall posture look way too familiar to another character. The next shot is a medium close-up of the figure, revealed to be Elaice from Xenoblade 1. His face is still obscured by all that light energy surrounding him, but we can see his Ontos core crystal resting on his chest, along with his signature choker around his neck. Additionally, it looks like Elaice still has his drip jacket from the first game, so I doubt there's going to be any substantial redesign for him. Maybe just altering his hair or his face a little bit. The follow-up shot is an extreme close-up of the Monado Rex, which pans up to reveal an older Shulk who's rocking some new clothes, donning a big red cape and a new gray short-sleeved coat. We can also see his strength-enhancing device strapped to his chest, along with a new bracelet strap on his wrist. But despite his design overhaul, Shulk still has his classic turtleneck, albeit a short-sleeve version now. His hair also looks slightly different, the sides are a little bit longer, and the overall style looks a bit more unkempt than the last time we saw him. During this segment, we also hear Shulk say,
"Tell me why! Is this really what you want?"
I'll talk a little more about this shortly, but I've just gotta say how much of a joy it is to hear Adam Howden still voicing Shulk after over 10 years. I'm really excited to see what he does with Shulk in this upcoming DLC. The immediate follow-up shot is the shock reveal of Rex, and he's all grown up, now way more muscular and even sporting a little beard on his chin. Additionally, he's got a completely new set of clothes, wearing actual pants and a proper shirt, complete with a vest reminiscent of his old salvager's vest. He's also got new fingerless gloves now, and a new bracer on his right arm, while also wearing what looks like a modified version of his salvaging gauntlet on his left arm. What's interesting is that there doesn't actually seem to be an anchor in the gauntlet. Maybe Rex's salvaging days are over, or maybe he just updated the design to make it less clunky. Rex also has a slightly new hairstyle. It's a bit more spiky and reminiscent of Adam Arago's hair from Torn of the Golden Country. Quite possibly the biggest part of Rex's reveal is that we now see him dual-wielding Pyra and Mithra's swords together. Something to note about their swords, however, is that they actually had a redesign. Taking a close look, Mithra's sword doesn't have her Aegis crystal in the middle like it did in Xenoblade 2. Additionally, Pyra's sword is also missing its guard, and the handle looks like it's more symmetrical like Mithra's sword. Speaking of Mithra's sword, the little crossguard light blade things look a little bit smaller than they did in Xenoblade 2, but that could also just be from the camera angle. It's also quite possible that, similar to Shulk using a replica Monado, Rex could have had replica Aegis swords created in the event that Pyra and Mithra's swords were unavailable. This could also explain why Nia has the Aegis swords during Xenoblade 3 when you unlock her. You can see this in her artwork and during actual gameplay. We also get a close-up shot of Rex which reveals a little bit more stubble to his new beard along the jaw. During this shot, we hear Rex say,
"Nothing's gonna get through to him! He's a heartless machine!"
Now before I say anything about what Rex actually said, I've just gotta say that I absolutely love his new voice. I'm not sure if this is Al Weaver doing a deeper voice for Rex or if they completely recast him, but I'm sure more information will be dropped soon. Either way, I love the deep voice. Now about what he's actually saying, I think it's very possible that only the first part of Rex's sentence is actually said by Rex, but the second part could very well be intentional misdirection. Monolith Soft is kind of known for misdirecting their fans during trailers with spliced dialogue going in the wrong places. In this scenario, the inflections in Rex's voice along with the actual pitch and volume give off more of a Vandam style voice. I'm not totally saying it isn't Rex, but considering how different these two voice clips sound from each other, there's a high chance that this is Monolith Soft trying to misdirect the fans like how they did with the Xenoblade 3 trailer, especially since it's a teaser trailer where little to nothing makes sense. Now what's also interesting are the backgrounds behind Shulk and Rex. The background behind Shulk looks a lot more similar to Zanza's realm during the final battle of Xenoblade 1, while the background behind Rex looks more mechanical and pretty similar to the inside of the World Tree. My guess is whatever energy Elaice is giving off is going to shroud Rex and Shulk in it during a fight, kind of mixing the scenery of Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2's final battles. And while we're at it, it's also worth mentioning that the appearance of Rex and Shulk in the trailer look nearly identical to the monuments of House Reed and House Kasani's mentors in the city. However, their statues have some slight alterations when compared to their appearance in the DLC. When we read the descriptions on their plaques, Rex's monument says, "The mentor boasted a robust physique, wielding 2 great swords at once with utmost ease and facing down Mobius despite the loss of one eye." Additionally, Shulk's monument reads, "Though of a calm and constant disposition, the sight of him on the battlefield, great red sword in hand, struck fear into many a Mobius. And though the vicious struggle against Mobius cost this ferocious warrior his right arm, the loss did nothing to diminish his desire to hone his martial skills each day, standing as a vivid testament to his indomitable will." Taking these pieces of information into consideration, I think it's highly likely that during one of the Mobius battles in the DLC, we will actually experience Rex lose his left eye and Shulk lose his right arm. The next shot is a blink and you'll miss it wide shot showing Shulk and Rex confronting Alvis, and it was at this moment that I realized how surreal it was to actually see the main boys of Xenoblade 1 and 2 actually standing together. It makes me wonder if the first expansion pass from Xenoblade 2 will be referenced, or if it'll be flat out canon. I made a brief video about that a little while ago, so you can find a link to that in the description, but only time will tell if that's actually true. Anyway, during this brief shot, we also get to see more of that energy emitting out from Alvis' body, almost like it's spreading across the world or something. Like I said before, the yellow-orange energy kind of seems a little bit more like the Fog King's Rift energy, but there are also strands of purple shooting out the sides. As we know, purple is a trademark color of Mobius in Xenoblade 3. Now it might be a little bit of a stretch, but with these bits of context clues, it's quite possible that Alvis could be the cause of the creation of Mobius and the consoles. We also get a quick close-up shot of Alvis, which gives us a better look at his core crystal and a proper face reveal, showing his lack of expression during the cutscene. More importantly, if we take a closer look at Alvis' chest, we can actually see the center of the Ontos crystal having a soft glow. Now in Xenoblade 2, when either Numa or Logos performed an action which required them to use their cores, like summoning artifices, they would also have a similar soft glow. This brief shot heavily implies that Alvis is finally activating his core crystal, and it might even be the source of all that energy he's putting out. Going back to what Shulk says to Alvis,
"Is this really what you want?"
It's very possible that he's saying this during the cutscene in the trailer. Coupled with Rex's piece of dialogue, I have a quick theory. Maybe what's happening is that Alvis is obeying Shulk's order that the future belongs to every person in the world, and being corrupted by the collective fear of the unknown future causes Alvis, or rather the Ontos core, to go haywire, hijacking Origin and creating Mobius while channeling the remainder of the Conduit's power or the power of the Fog King's Rift. This would also kind of explain why he has Zanza-like wings and the original Monado. Moving on from the extreme close-up, the trailer does a little crossfade into a sweeping shot of a very familiar landscape. But this is the part where there's a lot to unpack. At the top of the screen, we can see a large hand sticking out from what I assume is the Endless Ocean, an eerily similar looking hand to the one in Arethia's Sea. While not explicitly stated, it's heavily implied to be the right arm of Morardain. Off to the right, it's really hard to tell, but it kind of looks like a desert area, or maybe a sandy area similar to the Leftherian archipelago. And zooming in on the left, we can also see what looks like a settlement of some kind, along with a spire and some kind of platform likely for docking or salvaging based on the crane-like structure. It's hard to say, but the spire might actually be one of the anti-air batteries, which potentially makes this location New Colony 9 from the end of Xenoblade 1. The shot swoops in through a cavity in the mountain to reveal the Bionis leg. Specific locations we can see are Ragwell Bridge, Ragwell Lake, and off in the far distance might be Roe Oasis. There's also a campsite near Ragwell Lake with a new landmark just above that. It's hard to see, but the architecture looks a little bit like Agnian colonies, but it looks way too small to be an actual colony. Additionally, there's some monsters, including Panios, Teos, and the infamous territorial Rotbart. The trailer then cuts to a brand new character who actually looks very similar but different to Noah. Looking a little closely, we can see a scar over his left eyebrow along with a tighter ponytail than our main Noah. Most notably, however, are the 2 ear piercings on his left ear, making this one of, if not the only Xenoblade protagonist to have pierced ears. But don't quote me on that. It's also worth pointing out that his character design actually looks a lot more similar to Faye from Xenogears, especially because of his tight ponytail with that long strand of hair coming down to his face. The shot shows not Noah's left eye glowing yellow, indicating he might actually be from Agnes. Furthermore, a transparent figure of what almost looks like Mio's Ouroboros form starts to fade in while a green Ouroboros haze shrouds not Noah. While this clip plays, we hear him say,
"Like killing Granddad wasn't enough for you?"
Honestly, it's kinda stumped me here on what he could be talking about. At first, I thought this character was going to be a grown-up version of N and M's child, but if he did say granddad, that kinda debunks that theory. As per usual, we also have no idea what the context of this segment is from, but the lip syncing matches up with the dialogue, so I don't think this is an attempt to misdirect the fans again. We can at least infer that Not Noah is getting ready for some kind of battle against his main antagonist or rival of this story. And then, the trailer ends with a big red Nintendo screen. And that's all I've got for today. It's still too early to tell too much of anything, but if I was able to squeeze out 4 pages worth of an analysis from a 20-second trailer, that's gotta count for something. I'm honestly just so excited to see Shulk and Rex again, and I have no doubts that this DLC is going to bring me to tears. If you stuck around this long, I'd appreciate if you liked the video and consider subscribing while you're at it. If I missed anything at all, or if you just have any suggestions for future videos, leave a comment down below. I read every single one, and that's a promise. As always, thank you so much for tuning in, and I've been your host, signing off.